Good morning, children. Today we are going to see the remaining part of the first part of microorganisms. So, in the last unit, we have already discussed. What, we had some questions, right? Isn't it so? Why we add buttermilk to make curd, and why food spoil after some days, and why our mouth smells in the morning. And after that, we have learnt about Anton van Leeuwenhoek, who was a fabric merchant at the time, and how he made the powerful microscopes and the kind of skill he had in making the powerful lenses, and his keen observation and his keen concentration led him to discovery of the microorganisms, which he named them as animalcules. Later, they were named as bacteria. So we have also seen different microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, protozoa. We have seen the pictures of them. Okay, and then we have also seen the pictures of algae like Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra, Diatom, Spirulina, Utegonium, and Serratium. Okay, and also we have seen some micro arthropods, Cyclops, Daphnia, scabious mite, eyelash mite. Okay, so these are all the different microorganisms belong to different groups. We have seen that, and then we have seen how to find the microorganisms in water. Okay, and how to observe them under the microscope, taking the pond water and observing it under the microscope. And then we have also seen the fungus, right? The fungi, how they grow on the logs or the decaying parts of the plants or rotten food. Okay, and in the picture you can see the mushrooms growing over there. And we have also seen white color patches over the bark of the trees, and that is nothing but the fungi. And also we have seen how to observe the fungus also, right? So how to take the rotten part of vegetables and black spoiled part of the breads, and how to place it on the side and observe it under the microscope. So that will lead to you to see the fungus, right? So, and next we have seen how to observe the bacteria, where they are present. They are present in the soil, okay, and on the skin and armpits and buttermilk and whatnot. So we have also seen an experiment where we saw the how to observe the bacteria. Okay, so how to take the buttermilk and heat the buttermilk for some time on the lamp. Okay, take 2 drops of crystal violet and add it to the buttermilk and wash the slide gently, and then you observe the microscope and you'll find the bacteria which you can see in the screen. So this is all we have already seen. And we have seen different pictures of bacteria and also diseases caused by the bacteria. And we have also seen that Thiomargarita nambiensis is the largest bacteria till now. Okay, then we have seen the pond water, and using the pond water, okay, we can see the different kinds of microorganisms and which belong to the plant kingdom are present. Okay, they're not actually completely microorganisms. You can see them. So those are also seen under the microscope. And we have also seen that half of the oxygen in the atmosphere produced by the microorganisms, isn't it? So half of the oxygen in the atmosphere, we have only 21% of oxygen in the atmosphere, 78% of nitrogen. So this half of the oxygen in the atmosphere is only produced by the microorganisms. Isn't it great? Now we'll come to today's topic, that is observing the protozoa. So to observe the protozoa or protozoans, what we have to do is we have to take some hay, right? We have to take some hay, and you have to take that hay and also collect some pond water and put this hay in the pond water. Maybe you can take a beaker and put the hay in the pond water. So don't go to a pond and put the hay there. Okay, collect some pond water in a beaker and put some hay in that. And after some days, 3 to 4 days, a kind of liquid will form, that is we call it as decoction. So now you take that decoction and just add 1 or 2 drops on the slide, and then you observe it under the microscope. So when you after observing under the microscope, you can just draw the rough sketches of what you can see in that. Okay, so You can see these kind of different organisms over there. See, paramecium, the which like paramecium, amoeba, euglena, vorticella. So all these are the different microorganisms, okay, which you can, or you can say protozoans, which you can observe under the microscope. You can, trypanosome also. Okay, so all these are the different microorganisms you can find under the microscope. So the next thing is microarthropods. Microarthropods. So now here the word arthropods means arthro in the sense joint. Poda means legs. That means the organism which have the joint legs. Okay, the organism which has the joint legs. If you take the ant, their legs will be joint. If you take the cockroach, their legs will be joint. Okay, so they all come under the arthropods. But whereas we are talking about the microarthropods, that means very, very small microorganisms. So these small microorganisms, why we are talking about them? We are talking about them because they are very, very important for the soil. Why? What happens? What happens to the soil if microarthropods are present in that? Because they can increase the fertility of the soil. What that does is they increase the fertility of the soil, and they decompose the biomass through the process of digestion. They will digest the materials. Okay, they digest the materials which are present in the soil, and they will convert them into very, very small compounds, so that they will be useful for the soil. Because if you put some plants over there, and they will grow very easily, isn't it? So they decompose the biomass through the process of digestion. They will convert the bigger compounds present in the soil into small compounds, so that whenever you pour water, they will get dissolved in the water, and the plant will be easily taking them inside. Okay, and there are different other kinds of microorganisms or microarthropods which are present in the skin. Okay, then the skin, and even in your beddings also you can see them. On the eyelid also you can see them, and also in the rugs, I mean blankets or bed sheets. Okay, you can also see them. And so there are some of the microarthropods. They can cause some deadly skin infection, which is called as the scabies. And the scabies is scabies is actually caused by a microorganism which is a arthropod. Okay, those are called as scabies mites. What they are called as scabies mites. You can see in the picture the scabies mites. Okay, can you see it in the picture? Yeah, the silver one which you can see here is a scabies mite, which basically stays on the skin. Okay, you cannot see them. They are very, very tiny that you cannot see them directly, and they will keep on causing several infections. Okay, so when a person is infected like this, the other person should not wear his clothes, because once he starts wearing the other clothes and all, the infection also will transfer to that particular person. It's a kind of contagious thing, so we should be very careful. Okay, so even we should be very careful when you keep on asking you ask the other clothes, like during school day programs or something. So we should wash them thoroughly in the hot water before using them. So this is about the scabies mite. And there are the microorganisms in soil. That is what we have learned. Apart from the arthropods, there are bacteria, fungi, protozoa. All these are there in the soil. So if you take 1 acre of land, there are 5 tons of fungus and bacteria present in that. There are around 5 tons of bacteria and fungi are present in that. So this one acre of land will contain 5 tons of bacteria and fungi. And what this bacteria and fungi will do is they will convert the solid particles in the soil to simple particles, so that the water will get mixed with them, and the plants will absorb them and use it for their growth. So this is really very useful for the growing of the crops. But there is a problem here, that excessive pesticides are being used, isn't it? So farmers use excessive pesticides to kill the pests, insects, and also fungus and bacteria and all. Of course, they kill the all these things which are on the plants, but at the same time they fall on this soil. Okay, now you cannot catch a single leaf and spray the pesticides or insecticides on them, isn't it? So some of them will fall on the ground, and that will destroy the useful bacteria, useful fungus, useful protozoans, okay, useful micro arthropods which are there in the soil. They'll get mixed with the soil and they will kill the microorganisms, which will really affect the soil fertility, because these are all helping in the soil to become fertile. Now it will become a problem, isn't it? So that is what actually happens when extreme amounts of pesticides or excess amount of pesticides are used in the crops. Now, if you want to observe the microorganisms in the soil, now you might feel that are there really microorganisms in the soil? So it's very easy to observe it also. What you can do is you can collect some soil from the field in a beaker. You take a small beaker first and then you collect some soil in the soil from the field, okay, from the crop field. Add some water to that and then stir it. Stir it in the sense, mix it thoroughly. Wait for some time so that all the heavy particles of sand and all, they will get settled down. Now take a drop of water and observe under the microscope. Take a drop of water and observe under the microscope. So when you observe them under the microscope, then you can see the microorganisms under that. That means there are microorganisms everywhere. You cannot say that microorganisms are only present in the air, or you cannot say that microorganisms are only present in the water. So they are present everywhere. Wherever you go, you can find the microorganisms. They are present in the soil too. Okay, and they are present in the extreme temperatures. I mean, like even up to 0 degrees centigrade also you can find the microorganisms. Okay, and even in the hot water also you can find the microorganisms. Microorganisms can survive in even 80 degrees centigrade. Some of the bacteria, they can survive even in 80 degrees centigrade. That is how they can survive in the extreme cold conditions or even in the hot conditions. So these microorganisms are present everywhere. Even in the air which you are breathing, there are several microorganisms. Because of our WBC, that is white blood cells, and antibodies in our body, we are not getting certain diseases because they fight with them and they will kill them. So we are actually being safe. So, but still, we should be very careful while you are drinking the water. Boil it before you drink the water, because water may contain a lot of microorganisms. Okay, and we eat the boiled food. So what are the microorganisms which are there in the food and all, they will get killed up. So when you breathe the air also, it's not that safe. So it's very good that we are wearing the masks now. Okay, and the soil, whenever you fall down in the soil also, immediately you have to take a proper treatment for that, because through the wounds the bacteria will, or the virus will enter into your body. So we should be very careful regarding all those things. Now coming to the next topic, which is called as the virus. They are really interesting type of microorganisms. You know why they are interesting type of microorganisms? They behave like non-living things when they are outside the body. They exactly behave as they are the non-living things, but once they enter inside the living body, they will live in the host and they will behave as the living things when it comes into the host. Who is host? Human being or any animal will be the host. Okay, so because they will come as a guest into the body, so they will become the host. Okay, so and moreover they can reproduce like bacteria. Plants and animals. As plants and animals and bacteria, they reproduce and give birth to the young ones. Even these viruses also, they can reproduce and they can proliferate, they can increase their number. Because see, 1 or 2 viruses, if they enter into your body, they cannot cause disease. Okay, so they have to increase their number in order to cause disease. So you cannot see them with the normal microscope, but you can only see the virus with the help of electron microscope which magnifies the object so many times bigger than that of the original one. There are several diseases which are caused because of the virus. One is polio. Okay, you might have seen the children suffering from polio. This polio is caused because of the virus called as poliomyelitis. Okay, this disease is called as the poliomyelitis. So polio is one of the disease which is caused in the children if they don't take proper vaccination in the early ages. Okay, before 5 years, doctors, like nurses, ASHA workers, they will come to the home and they will search for the children. They will give the polio drops to them. So every once in a year, in the month of December, in the month of January, in the month of February, there will be camps for the polio drops because this polio is still existing in our country, isn't it? If you take the smallpox, it was a disease, but now that was completely eradicated from our India. We don't see any patients with the smallpox, but whereas you can still see patients with the polio. That means still people are not aware of the polio vaccine. So that's why government has taken steps so that they are giving the polio vaccine to every child. Okay, so before 5 years they have to take this polio vaccine twice. And next one is swine flu. So it is also one of the viral disease which we have seen in the past 2 or 3 years. So many people affected with the swine flu. And then next is the conjunctivitis. Your eyes will get infected. Okay, there's a separate layer formed on the eye, kanla kalaka, kanlo chai. So these are the words which we use especially for conjunctivitis. So conjunctivitis is a kind of infection in the upper layer of the eye which is called as conjunctiva. So next is a smallpox. I said, like it's like a chicken pox, but smallpox, like it led to death of the people. But now we have successfully eradicated, threw away this virus out of our India, so we don't have any smallpox patients. And even government has made a statement that if they bring any person, any child suffering from smallpox, they will give a reward. That means they are that confident about the smallpox. Then chickenpox, we observe it every year, so children usually suffer from the chickenpox. And next is the AIDS. AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So this is also one of the viral disease. And now corona. So I don't need to explain this in detail because you know it very well. So corona is one of the deadliest, dangerous disease which is spreading like anything all over the world. So this is about the virus. Okay, you can see some viruses here, right? This is one of the virus, and this is also a shape of the virus. Okay, and this is the HIV virus, that is human immunovirus. And observing the microorganisms in the different areas, right? So you can see these microorganisms present in the bodies of the animals and also in the plants. Plants also will get diseases because of the microorganisms. Even animals also will get diseases because of the microorganisms. And one more thing, what I have already told you, that they survive in all environments. They are capable of surviving in all environments. Okay, so it may be ice cold climate, or even hot springs also they are able to survive. Hot springs and also even ice cold climate. And some of them will grow in the other parasites. There are some parasites which cause harm to our human body. Okay, they come and stay in our body like tapeworm or roundworm. They come and stay in our body and they cause harm to us. They eat the food which is in our body, but still they harm to us, right? They harm us. That's why they are called as parasites. So these some of the microorganisms also grow in the parasites, and some of them will live independently. Okay, so if you take some of the diseases which are caused by the bacteria, you can say take the typhoid, tuberculosis, and septicemia. Typhoid, tuberculosis, and septicemia are the bacterial diseases. And then come to the fungi, they cause the skin diseases, especially skin diseases. And then the next one is the protozoans, which causes the diseases like malaria, amoebiosis, etc. So amoeba is one of the Amoeba is one of the protozoan. So we have seen the picture of amoeba also, that will cause a disease called as amoebiasis. The way there will be stomach pain and also regular motions, loose motions and all. So that will be the problem when a person affects with the amoebiasis. Okay. And then already you know about the malaria. Malaria is a disease which is caused by mosquito, but because mosquitoes will have the protozoans in them, which is plasmodium parasite. Okay, which is the plasmodium. So this plasmodium, which is a protozoan, will cause a disease called as malaria. Plasmodium cannot directly enter into our body, so that's why when the mosquito bites, the plasmodium are present in the mosquito, and when the mosquito bites us, plasmodium enters into the blood through the blood flow. Okay, and that is how we are infected with the malarial disease. Okay, so this is about the microorganisms in everywhere. Right, so this is the first part of the microorganism which we have completed, and tomorrow we'll start the microorganisms part 2. Okay, children, so until then, see you all, have a great day.